Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're really digging deep into something that's hitting all of us harder every year, the straight up greediness of big companies. It's not just one bad apple, it's a whole system where corporations find endless ways to take more money from regular people while they sit on massive profits. I'm talking facts, real stories, numbers from recent years, and examples you can relate to in your own life. This is gonna be a longer video, so settle in. We'll cover the subscription overload, digital tricks that make you feel like you own nothing, how short form content is messing with our brains, insane pay gaps between CEOs and workers, hidden pricing schemes, grocery gouging, and that frustrating tipping mess in the US. Let's expose this stuff and talk about what we can do. First off, a quick personal story that kicked this off for me. I had an old YouTube account with over 6,600 hours of ad-free watching since 2023. I was happily paying $18.99 a month for premium subscription. Then I checked on a new account and I saw the exact same plan for $13.99. Obviously, I canceled the old one right away and switched, saving myself about $60 a year. Why the difference? Because my old subscription went through Apple's App Store, and Apple takes a 30% cut on in-app purchases. YouTube, aka Google, just passes that extra cost straight to the customer instead of absorbing it. They could have lowered the price for everyone, or at least nudged loyal users like me, but nope. Why bother when people stay subscribed out of habit? That's a classic greed. Quietly pocketing more without adding any value. This ties into the bigger explosion of subscriptions everywhere. Remember when you bought software once, like Adobe Photoshop, for a flat fee? That changed in 2013 when they switched to Creative Cloud, aka monthly payments instead of owning it forever. Netflix pivoted from mailing DVDs around 2007 to streaming subs, and the whole model took off. By the early 2020s, the subscription economy had grown over 435% in less than a decade. Now, in 2026, it's a $2 trillion global market growing 13 to 15% every year, with projections hitting $1.2 trillion by 2030. Companies love it because recurring money is predictable and scales fast. 5 times quicker growth than traditional one-time sales. But what about us, regular people? It's overwhelming. The average American household juggles 3 to 6 streaming services alone, spending anywhere from $37 to over $100 a month just on video. Add in everything else: software, apps, even car features like heated seats from BMW. And people are dropping around $273 monthly on subs overall, up from $237 back in 2018. And get this, 55% of folks have unused subscriptions they're still paying for, wasting about $127 a year on average. It's like a slow bleed. Forgotten gym memberships, streaming you barely watch, or that cloud storage you signed up for once. Soon we'll see subs for smart fridges, unlocking recipes, or even clothing rentals turning into monthly fees. It's not about better products, it's engineered to lock in endless revenue while we lose track. Digital products take this even further. Why do games cost $60 to $80? Or premium services $10 plus a month when copying them digitally costs basically zero? Yeah, making the game costs a ton upfront. AAA titles cost $100 to $300 million. But once it's done, the marginal cost is nothing. Yet companies keep prices high because they can. Microsoft pulled in $281 billion in revenue in 2025. With $128 billion in operating income. Adobe switched to subs and saw their revenue explode. What happened to buy once, own forever? Investors demand constant growth, so one-time buys get replaced with recurring models. With billions of users, they could charge way less and still make huge money, but greed wins. They charge what people will pay. Streaming makes it worse. Back in the day, Netflix had almost everything. Now it's split. Disney Plus, launched in late 2019, HBO Max, now Max, in 2020, Paramount Plus, rebranded around then. Studios pulled their shows to build their own platforms and keep you paying multiple bills. Why not just one big app where they all share profits? Because competition and exclusives like Stranger Things on Netflix keep subscribers hooked. Mergers get blocked by antitrust laws to prevent one company controlling everything. But during COVID lockdowns, in 2020, streaming exploded. Netflix added 15.8 million subscribers in the first quarter alone, up 23% year to year. Disney Plus reached 100 million in just 16 months. Global online video subs jumped over 30% that year. Lockdowns pushed digital habits forward by 3 to 5 years. Some folks wonder, what if the timing was too perfect? Streaming giants launched right before everyone got stuck at home. No evidence it's planned, but companies definitely cashed in hard on the crisis. And buying digital movies? You pay $10 to $20 on YouTube or Amazon, but it's not ownership, it's a license. So if the platform loses rights, it can disappear from your library. YouTube promises at least 5 years, but after that, or if deals change, poof, gone. People have reported losing dozens of titles overnight, and when the movie comes back later, you might buy it again if you forgot. With physical DVDs or Blu-rays, it's yours forever. No one can take it away remotely. That's the illusion. Convenience turns into a revocable trap where companies control access and can resell the same thing multiple times. This greed isn't just in the digital world. It's everywhere. From how short-form content is reshaping our habits to how companies treat workers and customers. Take platforms like TikTok or YouTube with Shorts or Instagram with Reels. They're designed for quick hits, but studies from 2025 and 2026 showed they're messing with our brains. A meta-review of 71 studies with nearly 100,000 people linked heavy short-form use to weaker attention, poorer impulse control, and trouble with sustained focus. EEG experiments found lower prefrontal brain activity in addicted users, tied to executive functions like planning. Other research showed it disrupts working memory, the ability to hold info short term, and prospective memory, like remembering to do something later. One study had participants use TikTok, then tested them. Their recall dropped sharply. The dopamine rush from fast clips makes deeper tasks feel boring, leading to cognitive fatigue, higher anxiety, and even procrastination. It's like rewiring us for distraction, which makes it easier to overlook things like unused subs or rising prices. Speaking of rising prices, look at CEO pay compared to regular workers. In 2025, average CEO compensation at S&P 500 companies reached $18.9 million, a $1.24 million increase from the year before, while worker wages only rose 3 to 4%, hardly beating inflation. The pay gap hit 196 to 1, meaning CEOs earn nearly 200 times what the median employee does, up from 185 to 1 in 2024. Boards focus on stock buybacks and bonuses that boost share prices for shareholders, but frontline staff see little of those profits. It's a system rigged for the top, where growth means more for the few, not better lives for the many. Companies are getting sneaky with pricing too, using what the FTC called surveillance pricing in their 2025 report. They track your data, location, history, even demographics, and hike prices accordingly. For example, Uber or Amazon might charge 20% more for rides or items in certain neighborhoods, often hitting non-white areas harder. It's AI deciding you're desperate or less likely to shop around, then gouging you. No transparency, just extra profits from personal info we never agreed to sell that way. Grocery stores pull similar stunts. Even as supply chains stabilized in 2025, prices stayed high, and surveys around 63% of Americans pointing to corporate greed over other factors. Chains like Kroger boosted profits by about 30% in recent years, with execs admitting market conditions helped keep margins wide. Shrinkflation affected 62% of shoppers, smaller portions or lower quality at the same cost. Families skipped staples while companies celebrated earnings calls. It's not pure economics, it's using excuses to extract more. The tipping culture in the US fits right in. Employers shifting wage responsibility to customers. Federally tipped workers can get just $2.13 an hour from the boss, with tips supposed to make up the rest to reach $7.25 minimum, or higher, depends on the state. But in states like Oregon, where I live, there is no tip credit. Tipped employees must get the full minimum wage up front. As of 2025-2026 rates, that's around $16.30 in Portland metro area, $15.05 standard, and $14.05 in non-urban areas, with the next adjustment coming July 1st, 2026, based on inflation from the Consumer Price Index. Still, that's crazy low. Considering living costs here, a single adult in Portland needs anywhere from $60,000 to $110,000 plus per year to live comfortably, and a family of four might require anywhere from $130,000 to $240,000 plus. Tips end up being 50 to 60% of servers' income in many places, leading to stress. Servers get frustrated without good tips, which can sour service, and customers feel pressured to cover what should be the employer's job. I'm a big believer in criticize then offer a solution principle, so here's mine. Restaurants should bake a fair wage into menu prices, bump them 15 to 20% to cover solid hourly pay like $15 to $20 depending on the area. Customers see the real cost up front, no awkward add-on, servers get stable money, leading to happier staff, less turnover, and better vibes all around. Tips become optional extras for standout service, not a must to pay bills. Some spots have tried this and seen loyalty grow, though others backed off because star servers chased bigger tip gigs. So why it's not the standard? Low menu prices draw crowds, and owners prefer variable costs over fixed ones. It's greed outsourcing payroll. And if you think that's bad, it gets darker. Private equity firms have taken over wheelchair suppliers like NewMotion, buying up competitors left and right to dominate the market. They delay repairs and hike costs for profit, leaving disabled people stuck at home for weeks or months without their chairs. A report from disability rights groups straight up called it profiting off disabled and chronically ill Americans. Imagine relying on a wheelchair to live your life, and the corporation decides fixing it isn't profitable enough. That's not business, that's cruelty, disguised as efficiency. Even smaller stuff shows how absurd it gets. Some theme parks in 2025 charged $6 for a cup of plain tap water. $6 for what flows free from any sink. People got refunds after complaining, but the fact that they tried it in the first place? Mind-blowing. Wrapping this all up, what can we actually do? Share these stories, question the systems. On a personal level, audit your subs and cancel the dead weight. Opt for physical media like DVDs to own for real. Pick restaurants with fair wages or no-tip models. Broader pushback, support laws raising tipped minimums, mandating clear digital licenses, or cracking down on surveillance pricing through the FTC. Boycotts work too when enough people walk away from greedy chains, prices drop, or practices change. Look at how consumer pressure forced some groceries to roll back hikes. Greed isn't baked into companies. It's what happens when we let profits trump everything else. But we can tip the scales back by staying informed, voting with our dollars, and demanding better. Thank you for sticking with me through this. If any of this hit home, drop a comment. What's the greediest thing you've dealt with lately? Have you ditched any subscriptions? Let's keep the conversation going. Hit the like if you learned something. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.